Culture influences the lifestyle, and the lifestyle influences the way we communicate. This is a quote by Rhetoric, who is the boss of Vodafone, a popular phone company over in Europe.
Hi, my name is Erica Cole.
And I'm Taylor Burnett.
And this is our project. Our thesis is that cultural differences influence how we use technology, and the differences in our technology uses influence our culture.
We took some time to go over and interview Dr. Hai, who does research here at the university, and although his research focuses on mainly just how people use technology to communicate, he doesn't really look at across different cultures, but we still wanted to hear what he had to say.
Positive at the same time, I guess.
Do you think that also holds true across cultures, across different countries or continents?
I don't have any reason to suggest it doesn't, anyway. I don't, my research doesn't necessarily consider culture as a main factor. So I'm not positive, really, to be honest with you. I don't know that it's different depending on where you live. It very well could be. But I think it's a bigger question than where you live. It's what are people doing differently in those places that would lead them to use the technology different, and that's the thing I don't know if I have a great answer for.
Sure.
Sorry, I know that probably isn't very helpful for what you're doing.
No, it kind of leads into my next question here. Do you think that the way we use technology now is a result of a culture, or do you think that the culture is more a result of the technology?
That's a great question. So there are theoretical approaches you may very well know that predict both, right? There are people who believe in technological determinism, right? And they say that technology is creating these wholesale changes in how we interact. Other people, believe in like a social construction point of view where the technology exists, but we're deciding what we want to use it for, how we want to use it, and things like that. In reality, I know this is probably sort of a cop-out answer, but I think it's probably also true that I think it's a two-way street. I think technology is definitely influencing how people are communicating. I mean, we're doing things with technology that we never could have done before, and it makes life easier in a lot of ways. It makes life worse in a lot of ways too. But I mean, if you look at being in contact with someone while you're away, or a dating site, or just as a source of information, right? Having all these things is really changing how we think about things and what we do. On the other hand, I mean, I don't, I'm a believer that people are active and can use technology for how they want to use it. So I don't think it's like this force that's impelling us to act in a certain way. I think people are also choosing what they want to do with it. And if you look.
So although Dr. Hai doesn't really believe in the differences really among the different cultures, or doesn't see why there would be one, we found that there actually are quite a few differences. And for North America, they tended to be very open about what they talked about. They were very outgoing, very talkative. Especially the United States, they love to talk on the phone. They had an average monthly talk time of 788 minutes per month on their phone. And for the United States, men dominate the chat rooms. And as for Puerto Rico, they were the chattiest of all. They had around 1,875 minutes per month on talking on their phones.
In South America, only about 2/3 of the population own mobile phones. The rate of cell phone adoption had been high, but is gradually slowing down, and now the rate of cell phone adoption is only about 2% per year. Even so, cell phone adoption is considered full because only 2/3 of the population have the disposable income to afford mobile phones. Of this 2/3 of the population, only 1/4 of them are smartphone users. In Africa, beeping or flashing is a common cultural phenomenon. In Africa, charges are made by the call, so the person will call the recipient and hang up before they have the chance to answer. This is often a signal that the recipient should pick up the bill for the call. In Egypt, it is common to spend the first 5 minutes of a conversation just talking about family, welfare, their health, and exchanging other such greetings. This is because in Egypt, hospitality is a very important cultural aspect. Oftentimes, people who have just met will exchange phone numbers as a symbol of trust and also hospitality. Oftentimes, the conversation is ended with, "Do you need anything?" And the common reply is, "No, thanks to God."
So when we take a look at Europe, they also like to be on their phones a lot, but it's a little different than some of the other countries we've looked at. They're not so much about conversing like openly and just talking about their lives. They're more into, like in Italy, they answer their phones during meetings, and they say they do this because if they don't answer their phone during one meeting, they're going to miss the next meeting because that may be what someone's calling about. And as for Spain, you'll find people at their work meetings trying to discreetly text under the tables or emails, kind of for the same reason, just to like keep in touch and make sure they're up to date with all the events that are going on in their lives. And as for Asia, they tend to be more enclosed with what they want to talk about. They tend to keep to themselves a little bit more compared to a lot of the countries we've looked at so far. And in Japan, it's actually banned from answering your phone while on a train. They don't allow that, but you will see people constantly texting and emailing. They're more of the non-face-to-face communication. And for Thailand, females dominate the chat room, and it's a little bit different than America, and it's just the way their culture is. The males are more reserved, the females tend to do this more often. And in India, it's common for people to take calls in the movie theater, which is a little bit different from the other countries we've seen here. But this is like definitely not something we'd see in America either. These people just pick up their phone and, it's very common there.
Australia is very similar to the United States with just a couple exceptions. Talking on the phone in public is frowned upon more than it is here, and texting is a good alternative. Also, people will turn the volume on their phones way up so that if they have to call someone who is in public, the person in public can speak very softly and not disturb others around them, as a sign of respect and also for the sake of their privacy. This has been our project, and we hope that we've proven to you that cultural differences influence how we use technology, and the differences in our technology uses influence our culture. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.